What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Thursday edition of the YSN Power Hour. DJ Yoakley here. Amo making a special guest appearance. Get on here, young man. We had Muncie for a minute before he got a phone call. Then we got, we got Coach, who is covered up with our sponsorship as he should be, because he's the one that sells them now. Live from the back nine, just right here, and we'll let you introduce it here in a second. And then we got Billy Mack, who will be we'll see later tonight on the draft as well. Coach, why are we here, by the way?
Yeah, so we've officially entered into a partnership now with AMO and the Back Nine Bar and Grill here at Berlin Lakes Golf Club. In beautiful Berlin Center, Ohio. And we're really excited about it and happy to be on location.
And the big thing is we're going to make sure that everybody knows about this place. The food is phenomenal here. The ambiance is unbelievable as well. So we'll make sure you know about it. You're going to see their ads start in May. So we're excited about it. Amo, talk a little bit about this place, the heritage, the history.
Actually, 1920 was our first year, so 101 years officially this year.
So, Paul, you were here when it was built?
Yeah, I was a caddy.
Just a 9-hole course just outside of Sebring, what would be considered North Benton. It's got a pool.
You got a pond in the back?
We do have a pond as well. And the holes are not too hard, but the greens are tough, and we got 120 members, I think, roughly. We're looking to grow, so that's why we're joining YSN.
And this is where Grandpa Vic over the weekend we showcased it. Amo was the guy that kind of led it to us, and it has gone viral. Grandpa Vic is now viral in the United States of America for his hole-in-one. Everybody saw. I mean, it was my fillet is one of the coolest things I've ever had happen here, and it's really cool because you said that he got that hole-in-one on the front nine. On the back nine, he was 4 feet short of another.
4 feet short on the back. Yeah, it was awesome.
Unbelievable. Well, guys, it is National Draft Day because everything else was terrible. It was National Pocket in your Pocket Day or something like that. We're going to steer clear of that one, Coach, because that does nothing for us. So let's go National Draft Day. Who was your favorite player ever drafted? What was your favorite draft and why? We'll go new guy last to kind of help him out, let him think about it. Paul, what do you think?
My favorite player to be drafted / not drafted, obviously, was Bo Jackson. The Bo Jackson deal. I mean, if anybody's unfamiliar with it, he was a really great football and baseball player in college, and he got kind of duped into going on a trip, and it cost him his status in college, and so he wasn't going to go into the pro football. He went to play baseball first, and he went into the supplemental draft after a year, and that's where Oakland ended up picking him up. So he did really good out there for the Raiders until he got that injury. So he's one of my all-time favorite baseball and football players.
And one of the best video game players of all time as well.
He's the ultimate cheat code. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Never get tackled.
Coach, how about you? What's your favorite draft? This will be interesting.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with a lesser-known guy, but a guy that's known in the area, and it's the guy that gave me my first shot in football coaching, and that's Jay Brophy. When he was drafted out of the University of Miami, he was a Hurricane on the first ever national championship team down there in 1984. And in 85, he was drafted as a middle linebacker by the Miami Dolphins.
All right, I can get behind that. A little local flair to it. And this guy.
I'm going to agree with Michael Page here. 2018, that was Ward, Baker, Chubb, a lot of good players in that draft that the Browns got, and I think that was the sign of the Browns starting to figure some things out a little bit. So, which that might have been the only draft in recent memory anyway that the Browns kind of figured some things out. So that's where I'm going to go. And we did get that bum Baker Mayfield.
Still not over Baker, huh? All right. Amo, go ahead.
Steve McNair. Air McNair fan. Had his jersey. Loved him.
What
Him
year
and
was
Eddie
that?
George.
What was that?
Before I was born.
Steve McNair was before you were born?
No, no.
93, right? He was
No.
before 93, right?
No.
I
Really?
think that was 95 or 6. Ty would know. Ty knows everything.
Yeah,
When
Ty,
were you born?
93.
Oh my God.
I was
What?
thinking it was before. I just remember growing up with him, and that was my guy.
93, ladies and gentlemen.
1995, Steve McNair was
Okay.
drafted.
So, yeah, I was
He was 2.
2.
Speaking of young guns, Ty, what's your favorite draft of all time and why?
I mean, it's hard to kind of.
Go Brady!
What?
Sorry, excuse me.
I mean, it's hard not to look at the 2000 draft just because Tom Brady was drafted. In the 2000 draft. I mean, that one's kind of that one's kind of easy to go to. But another draft that I guess would be 2004. Well, actually, I think went undrafted. Yeah, he did. Wes Welker draft year, 2004. One of my favorite.
It's a hell of a draft whenever you don't have to draft somebody.
Exactly. No, I just really liked Wes Welker, but I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say because he wasn't drafted. So yeah, 2000, easy then.
Mine is 2004, naturally, when the seismic shift occurred in the AFC North. Ben Roethlisberger was drafted, and the rest is history. So on his last year, that everybody kind of feels like this is going to be the last ride for old number 7. He's my favorite player of all time. Ben Roethlisberger will probably always be. But I don't think it's going to be a smooth sailing ride on his way out. I don't think he's going to go down the way Jerome Bettis went out riding into the sunset. I think he's going to have a tough time. I do think, after listening to a couple talk shows on the way out here, I think that the Steelers are going to be better than people think they're going to be. But
I agree.
I mean, and it's only because the rest of the division hasn't done a whole lot. Look at Baltimore. They didn't really make any moves that made them glaring favorites in the AFC North when they could have. Cleveland has made improvements, but nothing drastic, and Cincinnati. So I think it's going to be another, knock them down, drag them out fight in the AFC North, and that makes me feel better because maybe we can win one more title in the AFC North. So we'll see. Anthony Hartwig saying the first Chiefs player I was a big fan of as a kid was Derek Thomas. I probably could pull that up. That's a good one.
Nigerian Nightmare.
He was good.
Let's leave the cultural benefits out of here, Paul. You're a big fan of who? The Nigerian Nightmare?
Nigerian Nightmare.
That should be your nickname.
I had one of his top football cards.
I'm not even going to attempt to say that.
Nigerian Nightmare?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't say Nigerian?
Too much potential for disaster.
Oh.
There's a lot of potential for disaster there, but if you're a little bit cultured, listen.
Christian
Coach and Amo were sitting around this circle table we're at right now, and they were talking about Sebring history, and I thought I fell into my own personal hell. They were just going around like, oh yeah, this guy, that. And I'm sitting, I'm like, what just happened? I walked into a time warp, and Sebring is the center of the universe. It was amazing. It was amazing and terrifying all at the same time.
Coach is bringing football back this year.
That's right.
Playoffs.
Now, Coach, we talked about this yesterday, and Matt, I want you to repeat what you said because a year ago, just about a year ago, you said that if and when Sebring goes to the playoffs for the first time in football, that entire team is going into the Hall of Fame. Are you still standing by that?
Yeah, I stand by that statement. It's been kind of a tradition at Sebring that great teams or teams that do things, for the first time in history, go into the Hall of Fame. And so all teams, the teams that made it to state basketball, the 2004 team went in just recently. But I stand by my statement. I think the first team in Sebring history that makes the playoffs, and God willing, that'll be us this year, will go in as a team to the Hall of Fame at Sebring.
If that were a standard, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I dig it. But if that was a standard in NFL, and the Browns
Oh man,
went in, all of them, who would be the worst Hall of Famer on that roster?
Mac would say Baker Mayfield.
Sorry, I'm getting like 1,000 emails today. So I wasn't listening to that last part.
If the Browns, so Coach said that if Sebring goes to the playoffs, his entire team goes into the Sebring Hall of Fame someday,
Fair.
right? If the Browns subscribe to that same notion, that same philosophy, and all of them went into the Hall of Fame, if the Browns won the Super Bowl, who would be the worst Hall of Famer on that roster?
Cody Parkey.
Yeah,
I'm surprised
cool with
people didn't say Sendejo. Browns fans were up and down about Sendejo the whole year.
Listen, Ty, they're holding hands walking into that Hall of Fame. Like, that's where they're at. Like, they're in the back going, "Oh God."
Trying to sneak into the crowd, like maybe they won't see us. We'll get in real
Right,
quick.
right.
Okay, so let's flip the script. Who's the first one that goes in from that team?
Chubb or Garrett?
Or Joel Bitonio,
But yeah.
longest tenured member of the Browns on that team.
I'm going to throw up.
Your offensive line.
Offensive lineman.
I'm going to throw up.
I would say Garrett or
I think
maybe
the
even
coach,
Jarvis.
the coach has got to be walking in first, right out the gate, puffing his chest, going, "We did it. We got it."
Yeah, if you're not going to go the coach, I mean that's fine. I mean he's going to get a lot of credit for that. So
You got to retire right after that, right? You win the one, and you're like, oh, "See you later." That's as good as it gets. Browns have never done this before. See ya.
Yeah, be like George. I'm leaving on a high note.
Retire as champion.
It's crazy because it's theoretically he doesn't even have a playoff win.
Oh, true. He didn't coach.
Oh, huh? I didn't think about that.
That'd be what Pfeiffer was the coach then, right?
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about that. That's. I mean, that's neither here nor there. It's not a night that I remember very well.
Pittsburgh.
I don't remember that night very well, to be honest with you.
Did you just pull a Mac line?
What's
Did
that?
you just pull Mac? I don't remember that. I don't remember that night.
I don't recall that happening.
Yeah, I have no recollection of that.
DJ,
What are you doing, dog?
you Max.
What?
I said that you also believe that everything you say is Mac, just like Mac.
No, we have another guy at the G Burger Farm Studios daily that seems to have that situation going on.
First
I
off,
do want
don't
to
believe anything. It's truly fact.
Well, how about this for a fact? You like this one? Aaron Rodgers today almost going to San Francisco in a trade.
That would have been nuts. Super Bowl champs right there.
Oh yeah.
Incredible. And so, Amo, you're the one that brought it to my attention.
Yeah.
What was the proposal, and why the hell didn't the San Francisco 49ers take it?
They said it was the third pick from the 49ers, Jimmy G, and then a bunch of future picks for Rodgers. I don't know what the future picks were, but love it.
You want to become famous? There you go. Once again, every day we got a new sponsor, Matt.
K-Man Fire, not a sponsor yet.
Should be.
What do we got? I watched my first Pirates game. I didn't think I think ever last night just for you. Thank you. I appreciate it. It was only 4 hours long. So you got a good one. They just couldn't.
I think that this discussion isn't over, right? Like, even though they said no or whatever, this is probably something that's going to go all the way up until the draft tonight. So maybe maybe it's just not over quite yet. Maybe it still will happen.
I mean, A-Rod wanted out.
What would you give if you're San Francisco, right? A quarterback is going to make your team, right? This year, right away. You get a guy like Aaron Rodgers, you got to imagine like this is Super Bowl or bust, right? Aaron Rodgers has what, 2 years left on his deal?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
2 or 3, right?
So how many first round picks, including this year, is worth his value?
One
You
more.
can give him a first and a third. Yeah, go. See ya. That's it.
Well, they said. Well, you said multiple first
And
rounders.
Garoppolo, I would say Garoppolo this year's first and a third.
a
And
future.
that's it.
What else do you need for him?
I'd give up a whole draft.
dude doesn't want him. Like, dude doesn't want to be there, I should say. He doesn't want to be in Green Bay anymore.
How old is he, Ty? What was he, 35?
Green Bay said no, but it actually makes sense. They took a quarterback in the first round last year. Green Bay should now, because chances are they will trade him after the season.
Yeah, with Aaron Rodgers being 37, and I've had discussions with this topic way earlier this year too about quarterbacks historically don't have much success after 37 years old. It's usually those years. I mean, other than Tom Brady being the outlier, there hasn't been really many quarterbacks that have had success. So anything I think more than one first-round pick, Jimmy G, and maybe one more lower-round pick, I wouldn't take or pull the trigger on that, even for the name Aaron Rodgers.
Was he the MVP last year?
Yeah.
I thought with 36 he was MVP. You got to imagine this is not going to be a down year for him. I mean, it could be because he was MVP. What's more than the MVP? You know. So I would give him first, third. I'm cool with you on that. I'd give him Jimmy G.
You're gonna get
another first round pick. I would be okay giving that up. I would
That's
give
too
up
much.
first round pick.
You're in agreement, though, that you're getting one, maybe two really good years, though, out of Aaron Rodgers.
And then maybe a slight down. But a slight down is still better than Jimmy G. For 4
Why
years.
are we down on Jimmy G? I still trying to figure this out. He doesn't stink.
Okay.
Gets that pass in the playoffs.
He's too busy trying to hook up with porn stars.
That's true.
And you're mad at him for that?
No.
Are you mad or are you jealous?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't concern me at all. I don't care what he does in his personal life.
I mean, as long as he's throwing touchdowns on Sundays, I guess you can't really. I mean, it's nothing illegal, right?
No, I don't like him. I just don't like him. I don't think he can go out there and win you a football game. Period.
I know why you don't like him, because he's got every girl's eye, especially the one that you're bunked up with.
Oh yeah, she's in love with him. That's a done deal. Thank God he's not in Cleveland, right?
A-Rod says he feels the best he's felt in a long time. I think he's got. You know who else says that? Every quarterback you ever talk to.
Me
Yeah,
until
he's another guy that keeps his body in shape. I mean, he's a little bit more mobile. Obviously, he's a little bit more mobile.
What shape is that?
Good to great. The guy's coming off winning an MVP. I mean, what can you say about that?
Well, I'm just like, if you're saying he's in good shape, like, what shape is that? Like, Jimmy G's in good shape.
Yeah, but Jimmy G, he doesn't have
Kung
the
Fu
talent.
Panda.
He has the talent and he's in good shape. It's not like he has the talent and he's fallen off because he's not taking care of his body, like number 7.
Whoa. Yeah.
That's a shot across.
Oh, I know exactly where he's going, but a couple more trips to the Cheesecake Factory, and QB1 over in Cleveland isn't going to be having too much fun either.
Also, well, get him out. Come on, Cheesecake Factory. Come on.
I do want to talk about some stuff quickly here locally. Paul, I'm going to start with you because this was a big day yesterday for South Range as Bree Kohler surpasses 500 strikeouts. Kudos to Bree. It's been great 4 years for her. And that's without a season. Think about that.
Yeah.
From that standpoint, she would have done this
last year.
Yeah, she would have done it last year. And think about where she'd be at right now. Talk about Bree. She's a high character young lady. She's been on YSN a ton of times through interviews. Talk about what this means to her, what it means to the school.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just another feather in the cap for her because, she's just racking up the stats here this year, taking advantage of being able to play. They played Lakeview yesterday. She had a big home run, and they were just smacking the ball around yesterday. So on the mound, I mean, she is their stud. She is their number one, and they're going to ride that mound until it goes as far as that train can go because, she's committed to YSU. She's going to do some good things up there, stay home, stay local. And, for the school, I saw it. It was funny. I saw her about a half hour ago before the show because they're up there upstairs practicing. And I said, congratulations to her. And I just was like, do you know where that ranks in the team? And she's like, no. And she goes, I'm okay with that. And I was like, okay. And I was like, Coach DeRose probably knows. And I guarantee he knows because his daughter's on that list somewhere too. So, but we've been blessed at South Range here for girls softball. I mean, they just keep churning out pitcher after pitcher. So she's putting her name on that list and putting her stamp on South Range softball. So big props to her.
What is the record, Paul?
Because in a field this year of so many good to great pitchers in the Valley, especially on our network, she's one of the best in the area right now. It's not even debatable. And if you debate it, you just need to be drop kicked. But she's one of the best in the area, hands down. I've seen her. I got a chance to see her twice. I've seen a lot of the other girls around the Valley. She's one of the best.
I mean, it's debatable because there's a few up there that I think you can put up. But I agree with you. She's in that conversation of the best pitcher in the area right now. Speaking of, Jordan Anderson from West Branch tosses a perfecto last night. Billy, you were the first to have it. I got to say the graphics are pretty sweet that came out today on YSN. But, man, the lefty, the gunslinger, I mean, she was absolutely perfect last night. And, Amo, you're a West Branch guy. I mean, what does this mean to West Branch?
Best pitcher in the area, right, Billy?
Yeah, one of the best pitchers in the area. See, this is what the media does. They roll the narrative, they switch it, they turn it, they mold it. It's one of. I mean, again, like I said, there's so many good to great ones, and it's ridiculous. We're so blessed right now that there's just so many good softball pitchers in the Valley. Yeah, she was fantastic last night. And I had a couple girls that play for Howland, and they said her stuff is something we've never seen before. Moving up and down the rise and the changing of the speeds and the getting you off rhythm. It's very similar to how I approach my pitching with the boys is we have to change eye level. We have to change speeds. We have to keep everything that looks the same. And that's exactly what Anderson did last night against Howland.
Well, you look at that, and from our standpoint, we're very fortunate because we do get to cover all these pitchers, and we do get to have these debates of who would be the best. But my question remains, and nobody's been able to answer this, especially from our side. Is it similar to baseball with softball with the righty and a lefty pitcher? Like the first time I saw a lefty pitcher was probably I was 13, 14 years old. Like it was probably my freshman year in high school because they just grow righties out in Columbiana County. Is it similar to that where it's a little bit off if you don't see a left-handed pitcher in softball?
Yes and no. So as we know, a screwball is so hard. It's almost impossible. It's not impossible for a boy to throw. You're just not going to have a long career because your elbow is going to fall off. For a boy's pitch, it's so hard for a righty to get the ball to move back in towards the hands on a right-handed hitter, right? Where everything kind of moves away. You know, a slider moves away from you if you're a right-handed hitter. And that's kind of where the girls can do. They move away from the plate, inside the plate, up and down. They can put the ball with a lot of different movements just with rotation of the wrist. So it's not as similar, but just seeing it from one side or the other, yes, it can be a little different. So,
Coach, you put in our private chat. You did some quick math on Bree Kohler. Interesting stat you got.
Yeah, so I was just interested, and I based it around the fact that she's probably faced around 1,000 batters over the course of her 3 years. And if that's the case, then she struck out over 45% of the batters she's faced.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Paul, what is the record for strikeouts at South Range?
It's downstairs on the board. I mean, if I feel frisky during our timeout, I might run down there, but I don't know if I'm running too much. So,
because 500 just seems like a lot.
Yeah, it is,
especially in 3
but
years.
Again, like DJ said, she missed a year last year. So anybody else before this, they've had 4 full years, especially if they're a good pitcher. I mean, you bring up, Coach DeRose, like his daughter Carly. She was a stud, and she started from a freshman year on. So, I mean, you got to figure.
You have to start at your freshman year to even come close to it at this point.
To 500 strikeouts, oh, absolutely.
Well, what's crazy too is she's splitting time.
Yeah,
like she's not pitching every single game.
No, they have another.
There's places, there's schools around the area where the girls are the same girls pitching every single night. And Ursuline, South Range has that opportunity. They have a couple girls who could pitch for them. So she's, Bree's getting breaks in between too.
Yeah,
imagine if she was pitching every single night. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, in those pictures, and they'll say, I mean, you've said it, it's a natural motion to go underhand, but it still takes something out of you, right? You still get drained. It's not like you need to go out every single night and do it. If you have two pitchers, it's always going to be better because you can, give somebody a night off because they're not always going to be on point.
You could actually argue that point as the break in between. Maybe that's why she's a little bit more effective. Absolutely.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, I'm a huge proponent of rest is a big deal. So.
Yeah, that was a big topic last week, right? Rest.
Yeah.
And this week and every week. Let's take a break. Before we do, I want to tell you once again about our friends over at Blue Winks. And you need to use, I don't have mine on right now, so I feel bad even doing this promo, but that's what we get paid to do. So head on over to bluewinks.com, use the code YSN Live 10. It's actually bluewinks.com/YSN and use the code YSN Live 10. And listen, you would not go on a football field. Look at all these guys with their Blue Winks glasses. They're faux Blue Winks glasses. You would not go on a football field without a helmet. Please stop watching our shows. Please stop watching TV, your phone, all this stuff without Blue Winks glasses. You're just hurting your eyes. You're not sleeping well anymore. That's the reason why. So head on over to bluewinks.com/YSN. Use the code YSN Live 10 for 10% off your entire order. All this brought to you by the good folks over at Blue Winks. Tell Joe that YSN sent you. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the draft, obviously. A big night. Should be a national holiday in America. But we're also going to talk about an interesting rule change they're having in the minor leagues right now. It's not the Texas shootout, to which I love. We'll talk about what that is, and of course, we'll have the G. Berwick Farms What's Your Beef and more right here on the YSN Power Hour, brought to you by these great sponsors.
Hi everyone, this is DJ Yoakley with Your Sports Network. We appreciate your support of YSN and welcome you to the YSN family. Our broadcast streams are brought to you live at no cost to you by sponsors that are local to this community. Without the vision and generosity of our sponsors and partners, we would not be able to bring this game to you today. So please support the great businesses and leaders that are making this game possible. And if you're a business in need of great advertising and sponsorship opportunities, feel free to head over to our site for more information on the right fit for you. We are local, we are loyal, and we are live. We are YSN.
News doesn't stop after the sun goes down. Sometimes you just have to hustle to get it. At 21 News, no matter how far it is, no matter what it takes to get there, we're working to bring you the best stories and the freshest content at 11 p.m. with the context and clarity that makes it worth staying up for, no matter what time it is. 21 News at 11 with me, Aaron Simonek, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 11, news that's worth your time.
WRS Wealth Advisors is the area's premier wealth and retirement specialist. With our combined 70 years experience and comprehensive wealth strategy, we assist our clients attain their goals. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services, or visit wrswealthadvisors.com. Good luck, athletes!
At Greenwood Chevrolet, we go the extra mile for you
by finding you the right vehicle at the right price,
and by being with you for every mile of your journey.
Now, we're going the extra mile for you with an additional $1,500 on your trade, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
And welcome back to the YSN Power Hour. DJ Yoakley and Amo here in this box. We got Paul Munson in the middle box. So there's Max Solo over there on the far right side. Ty Bartell down on the bottom left, and Coach, of course, a little breaking news. Here we go. Well, hang on. Here we go. Go.
So ESPN just dropped something that Aaron Rodgers has told Sheffy, that's my buddy Adam Scheffner, that he will not return to Green Bay this next upcoming season.
Okay, okay, go ahead.
Awesome.
And now the Los Angeles Rams are in talks with Green Bay in dealing Matt Stafford back over across the border, across a couple states.
How dirty would that be to Detroit? That'd be awesome.
They're going to give Matt Stafford right back.
I would love that. I'm here for it.
You got to almost guarantee at this point that he will be traded tonight before the draft's over.
The Patriots are in on every quarterback, so.
Oh, get out of here, Ty. You don't need them.
No, they really are.
I can guarantee that.
YSN had it first.
Look at that. Page. Well, listen, Amo had it. We were talking about the softball
Jordan
stuff.
Anderson.
We were talking about Jordan Anderson, and he's like, "Hey, look at this." I was like, "Uh-oh." Green Bay would be stupid to trade him.
I agree.
I don't think that's. I mean, AFC quarterbacks are pretty much the only place there's.
Patriots, right?
Patriots, because they can give up the first-round picks because we don't use them year to year anyway, so we can give them up for the next 4.
This coming from the guy that's favorite draft was an undrafted guy.
Exactly. So. We don't need to draft guys. We draft kickers in our second round anyway.
Well, at least you don't draft long snappers like the Steelers. That's one thing that's going to bother me if they pull that crap again. Here, let's play a little game called let's do this first. Let's go to the new rule in minor league baseball, just in the Pioneer League, where we've heard of the Texas Shootout, and I love the Texas Shootout. But now we got blast off in the Pioneer League because instead of going to the Texas Shootout, they are going to go to one hitter on each side, a home run derby. Paul does not like it. Paul, why don't you like it?
I mean, how much more gimmicky are they going to try to make it? Because, I mean, obviously their attendance is going to be, few and far between. They're trying to do anything to make baseball relevant again. It's like, come on, guys. This is really, we're going to go to a home run derby if you're tied at the end of a game because you're doing that. I mean, come on. But real quick on a side note, Amo, to answer your question, 592 is the.
She would have had that, huh? If he would have played last year.
Yep. And
she still might this year.
That's true, too. She could still get it.
They make a run.
Yeah, make a run. And the single season record's 248.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Wow. Is that Carly?
No, Carly has the career, but it was Kerrigan Yannick. 248.
Wow.
That is did anybody hit the ball that year?
I mean, that might have been the year they went to the state championship. So, I mean, but yeah, you're mowing people down to 248 strikeouts in a season.
Wow. That's interesting. All right.
That's cool.
Billy, what's your take on this new shtick in the Pioneer League?
So here's the thing. I absolutely love it. I think it's great. I think it's great. And I think it's so – listen, when you talk about the All-Star events, like the game, it's cool. We like the All-Star game, but everybody loves the home run derby. So to bring that into the mix here, I think it really energizes the fans, and I think it could be something really cool. To me, it's no different than the shootout, right, for hockey. So
I love the shootout.
I'm cool.
I like
and everybody likes the shootout in hockey. Right.
So but now you're going to sit there and hope for teams to be tied at the end of 9 innings. You're like, please for a tie. Score a tie.
Yes. I mean, if you're watching NHL and it's 3-3 going into overtime, you're like, I could live with another overtime just so I can get to the shootout.
You could see guys like the Angels and Yankees tied, and now you're going to see Trout versus.
I would love it. I would love it.
That would be cool, man. Just think of it this is the problem with baseball purists versus fans, right? The fans want to see this, and the baseball purists go, no. This is how it been doing it since 1924 when Babe Ruth played. No, we don't need that. Advance the game. I think this is a cool way to do
it. Can you talk like that all the time?
Love it.
No.
Love it.
Get over it.
Do your dunk. No, that is going to be ripped from the archives the second this thing's over. I'm just going to take that little box that Billy was doing this thing, the Thriller. Ty, how do you feel about this?
It's interesting because I don't know. I kind of sit on the fence with it because I just wonder
Shocker.
how you're going to be able to do that. I'm curious on how, because I understand the reason behind it, because you want to advance the game, you want to bring new eyes onto it. But I'm curious how you're going to be able to score it statistically then at the end of the game, like which guys are going to pitch. How do we determine who's going to pitch for this said home run derby?
The BP guy. It's a done deal. Look, I can do this in a minute. Hey, you pick a guy, pick a coach, go. Done.
Pick a fan.
None of the statistics matter in a game. So after the tie, if you hit 12 home runs, you're not going to get 12 home runs in the season. That's just a score. You're not going to get credit for it. Boom, done.
How
Just
sweet.
Home run derby.
Did you hear Amo's answer? Pick a fan to throw. How sweet would that be?
There you go. And
dope.
they're going to throw one up, and it's going to hit him like Harper got hit in the face last night.
Probably wouldn't work, but
Paige is not a fan.
Yeah, I kind of lean more on that side. That I feel like that is too gimmicky. If you want to change things, I understand the whole starting on second. If you want to speed things up in extra innings, I do. I get that, but I feel like you're playing too gimmicky now.
I think you go 2 innings of Texas shootout, and if you can't get it done in 2 innings, this is what you go to. Because it would be awesome.
I like that. So thinking about it from a marketing perspective, if you wanted to pick a fan out of the stands, every team in their major league stadium now has that radar gun where you can go and throw.
Yeah.
You go with the guy that gets the highest score for the night.
Well, the Cubs sure as hell didn't do that last night. They had position players out there throwing
Rizzo
60 miles an hour.
Rizzo struck out Freeman, though.
Yeah, but then the next guy come up and was throwing like 65 miles an hour down the pike, and I'm like,
I don't care because I hate Rizzo.
Did anybody ask?
Yes, my opinion matters, and it is also fact.
So, Coach, do you like this or not?
I do like this. I think that it's a fun way to kind of advance the game and get some young eyes on the game and maybe get some guys interested in the game that wouldn't necessarily have the interest. And, at the end of the day, baseball probably does the worst job of marketing itself as a sport. And so if you can get some young guys interested, you can get some young kids excited about the game, I think it's a good thing.
I like that. Amo, what's your take on this?
I like it. I don't know if it'll last, but I think it's a cool deal. I like it. I like the Texas shootout, though. I think that would be cool.
I think you gotta take chances at this point if you're baseball because all your fans are dying. Like, and I'm not talking about going away. I'm talking about they're literally done. Rest in peace. So you got to figure something out to make it a little bit more exciting. Home Run Derby is what All-Star Weekend is for. But listen. What is everybody playing, right? You start out playing backyard baseball, and then what does it always turn into?
Home run derby.
Every single time. How far can I hit the ball? I mean, basically, baseball is golf without putting a ball in a hole. It's what it is. Think about it with your buddies. It's how far can you hit the baseball? That's what it is nowadays. So it's interesting. I like it. I would
a way more believable one. That for some of you guys who don't know, minor league baseball has been experimenting with rules every year for the past probably 11 or 12 years, right?
They have a pitch clock, right?
This is something that I think they can actually take and use for sure.
I like it better than making the bases bigger. I think that is, it's going to look like, what's that? The Pablo Sanchez that he's on Backyard Baseball. Is that what it was? The old DVD-ROM?
Because
the bases are huge.
Yeah.
Minor league baseball is making the bags bigger, so there's less contact.
Yeah, another rule they're using is they're pitching from 70 feet.
Yeah, I hate that.
Right?
I hate that.
There's other things that to slow the pitches down to create
70 feet. I thought they were just going to move it back a foot.
Maybe it's it's more than a foot. It's more than a foot.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that either.
It's definitely more than a foot.
It's an extra almost 10 feet 10. You're adding to that.
9 feet and 6 inches.
I want to see him push it down to up.
Like higher?
Can you imagine Chapman throwing from 52 feet?
It'd be cool.
That's true.
Pablo Sanchez in the argument for best video game athlete of all time.
Him and Bo Jackson.
Hey, Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
And Michael Vick, Ken Griffey Jr. I mean,
Griff.
I was gonna say Michael Vick has got to be the one.
Yeah, you always took
Everybody
the
uses a
Falcons.
cheat code. You're like, oh, you're being the Falcons. I ain't playing. Forget it.
Yeah, but Bo Jackson was the OG though. Tecmo Bowl was like that was the original cheat code out of any of them.
Well, I mean that one Family Guy episode was hilarious because Peter picks him and he goes all the way to the end zone and he runs all the way back the other way, and he runs the entire quarter out and scores a touchdown. And you hear the other guys going, "I'm not playing anymore," and they put their controllers down.
I mean, that's an argument that we'll probably have to have this summer. It's going to be a little bit slow around these parts with just baseball, maybe some travel softball, as I'm hearing. But we got some tricks up our sleeve here at YSN that we're going to throw some stuff out on you, and a little bit of Jeff Bezos involvement in 4. We'll be out here visiting AMO quite a bit. Let's just put it that way, and we'll be doing the YSN tour, 6 weeks of greatness. Or what we like to call greatness in golf in the Mahoning Valley. So more to come on that. Guys, let's talk more about this NFL draft tonight. We all have, for the most part, different teams that we represent. There's, 3 Browns fans on here, a Raiders fan, Steelers fan, and a Patriots fan. Who's your guy? Who are you taking tonight? Who do you want to take? Who do you hope to take? And who would you just love to take, but you know it's not going to happen? We'll start with you, Matt.
BPA. Best player available.
That's which one of those?
Don't care what his name is. Don't care what position he plays. As long as he's not a quarterback or a running back, take the best player available at 20.
Long snapper.
Trade back.
All right, Ty. Who should the Patriots take?
Everywhere I've seen lately, mock drafts are saying Trey Lance. I feel like he's not going to go that far. I don't think he's dropping to 11. Would I love it? Yeah, that you could probably mark that in somewhere I would love. I would love a new quarterback right now. But honestly, I mean, it's going to probably be the same Patriots MO. Whoever they thought was the best, and it's probably going to be some guy we didn't even hear about, and we're going to trade probably our first-round pick away for probably like 4 third rounds and draft some left tackle, an outside linebacker that nobody knows about, and they're going to somehow produce. Yeah, literally, probably. Honestly, that's what the Patriots do. So it's never exciting on draft night for Patriots. They never make the exciting, flashy picks on draft night usually.
Paige is going with Trey Lance at 3. I would be willing to take that bet for some Skittles. I don't think so. I still think that A-Rod ends up in San Francisco.
Can you imagine if that ends up being either Detroit or Green Bay picking at 3 and they get Trey Lance?
Can't pass it up, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think Trey Lance is not the 3rd best quarterback in this draft. Let's put it that way.
If Green Bay gets that 3rd pick, is that who they grab?
I don't think so.
I mean, I know you got Love there, and I know you would probably get Garoppolo, but
Green Bay would get Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I think Pitts goes 3rd no matter what. I really do. I really do.
Billy got me thinking when I was watching too about San Francisco having Pitts and how fun that team would be to watch.
That'd be so tough.
So bad. I want Pitts to go to San Francisco in the worst kind of way.
Team would be right.
Anthony called him Ryan Pitts today. Poe called him Justin Fields the other day. Like he said Justin Fields is a once in a lifetime talent, and I just kind of stopped and I was like, he's the 4th best quarterback in the draft. And he's like, oh, I meant Kyle Pitts. I was like, wait a minute. They don't even play the same position.
It's a good thing they don't play baseball in the summer when the weather gets warmer.
Billy, who are the Browns taking? Who should they take?
I mean, I'm going to stay with what I said. First off, I want Pitts to go 3rd overall. I really hope it's San Francisco. If they find a way to get, Rodgers and somehow miraculously be able to keep Pitts, that would be awesome. That would be a like historic home run, but that's probably unlikely to have both of those. But I want the corner from Virginia Tech, man. I think that's the guy I'm going to stand pat on. That's who I want.
Farley.
Muncie, who you got?
Being a Raiders fan, they have 3 of their offensive linemen all playing for different teams this year. So they lost 3 offensive linemen that were our starters last year. So they need some help on the offensive line. And I like the big kid from Oklahoma State, Jenkins. What's that?
Who said that on yesterday's show?
You picked 32 offensive linemen in the first round.
Don't be mad at it.
True.
I mean, and listen. I mean, they got to protect Carr at some point. I mean, and if they don't, then he's just going to get beat up, and they're going to be back to square one. Which, I mean, they have a lot of needs, unfortunately. I mean, they need some help They only had 21 sacks last year as a defense, which was down towards the bottom of the league. So, but listen, if you can't protect your quarterback, I mean, they got Richie Incognito as a returning veteran, at 37 years old on their offensive line. So they need some help there. So
it's a shame.
What they need in the worst kind of way is a guy with some character issues.
Yeah.
That usually doesn't work best. It's a shame because if they can get that, I mean, they got a nice little squad up there with Jacobs and Waller. I mean, their offense is looking pretty good up in Oakland. They just need the pieces to protect Carr, honestly, like you're saying, Paul. But they got plenty of weapons.
It doesn't matter what they draft because Mahomes plays for Kansas City in your division.
That's the same argument that the Browns. Yeah, I mean that's the same argument for every team in the AFC.
They got to play them twice.
But they beat them last year.
We beat them once. Almost beat them a second time.
Should have beat them a second time.
But it just doesn't matter.
Should have beat them a second time.
Just trade back until you have like 12 first-round picks when Mahomes is getting ready to retire. Just keep trading until you can get 12, so you can gather 12 picks, and then you'll have a squad ready.
Paige is just angry today.
He just works.
Yeah, he's just sour.
I think Paige needs a hug or something.
Wow. Amo, you got the Browns shirt on. Who do you want to see the Browns take?
J.C. Horn.
You're all in on this guy.
I love him. I love him or Farley. And a surprise one, I wouldn't be upset if they take Rashard Bateman from Minnesota, wide receiver.
I thought you were going to say Rashard Mendenhall.
But I don't think Bateman will be there. But
so if they take them, you think Odell's gone? Like you think he'll trade it before tonight?
I don't think they're going to trade him, but I think they need to get one because I think either Higgins or Odell will be gone next year. I think.
So you're going to have Higgins, Odell, Landry. Who's number 12? I don't know. People Jones. That's 6 guys on your roster for wide receiver. There's no way they draft. Not without trading one of those guys away tonight.
I'm with you. I didn't think of it like that. That's true. I like J.C. Horn or Farley though.
Wait till they get Julio Jones tonight.
I really like Horn too. I just think he's the first corner taken.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I wouldn't be surprised if some of these competitive teams too, even like the Browns, take offensive linemen because of how deep offensive line is, just to get depth at that position. Because I feel like that's one position you can never be.
I just think the Browns are going to do a Browns thing tonight, and they're going to trade up because they're in Cleveland.
For sure.
Like, there's no doubt in my mind. Like, they should trade back and get another first-round pick for the next year. They're just going to do a Browns move and trade up to get a guy they probably could have got at 26.
All I want is that one shot after they trade up to get somebody completely irrelevant, and everybody's looking around going,
"What?
No!"
That would be the most Browns thing.
Guys, we forgot. Cleveland doesn't have a first-round pick this year. They already spent it on Andrew Kyle.
Yeah.
They announced the pick this morning.
Yeah.
That's a Browns move. Farley has had 2 back surgeries, might need another soon. That's the last thing they need. Already have a secondary that can't stay healthy.
No, that's just greedy.
Shut up. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. I just talked to Farley on the phone.
Great guy, right?
He's fine. He's ready to go. We're good.
Is that like your buddy Sheffy, which is really Shefty?
I love it.
Yeah, me and Sheffy.
Me and Sheffy. Oh yeah, that's my buddy. It's my reliable source.
Sheffy.
He's friends with the chef over there from South Park.
He's actually Sheffner's chef. So that's
Billy's guy is like I don't know, what did you say, Alan Sheffer instead of Adam Schefter? He just calls him Sheffy. He's on his phone all the time tweeting.
The homeless guy got Jimmy Haslam to pick Johnny Mandel.
Wasn't that the guy that had the golden voice too?
Yeah.
Baltimore, if he's there, is who I want.
Barmore.
Oh, I'm sorry. I read that wrong. Sorry.
This is coming from the same guy that wanted Sherman. Like, credibility, gone. Been gone. Get out of here.
I'll take just about anyone. I have faith in Barry. Well,
Who do you want, DJ?
All signs point to Najee Harris that the Steelers are going to take. I don't like it. The other I guess thought is they're going to take the center from Alabama. I don't like that either. I think that what I think will happen is they're going to go a lot of offense and try to make this big hurrah out of Ben Roethlisberger's last year. I don't think that's the way to go. I think you got to shore up your defense. You got 2 outside linebackers on your roster right now. If there's an outside linebacker or an edge rusher available, you got to take them. It'd be nice to have another inside linebacker so you don't have random dudes from community colleges starting in week 12 through 17. But you know, the Steelers are going to do what the Steelers do, and that's they usually take the best available player and make it work somehow. So as long as it's not a quarterback, I know everybody, you know, I said yesterday about Kyle Trask. I started thinking about it. I really like Dwayne Haskins. You know, he's a head case, but he's got first round talent. And if you can kind of wrangle that up and realize he can come to realization that he can be a really big player in this league, then I think everybody's going to be on notice, because I think this dude's got.
Haskins, he just needs to be humbled, and I think this is a humbling experience to him.
Yeah, and he's not under any pressure. You know, the Steelers don't have any pressure with him. They don't have to start him. He doesn't have to start. He can sit back. He can learn a little bit from Ben or, I mean, whoever. You know, the quarterback's coach. He can learn about the league a little bit. He can just learn how to do reads and all this stuff. The game will slow down. And listen, I'm telling you, if Haskins is anything like he was in college in the pros, the Steelers have their quarterback for the next 15 years again, which doesn't happen very often. And we got him for absolutely nothing. So, yeah.
Is he on the Ben Roethlisberger workout plan and diet yet?
Wow.
Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, are you asking how many rings he's going to wear or what?
I just want to know if he's on the diet and workout plan.
I'm figuring if he gets a Super Bowl, he'll probably go to the Hall of Fame, because that's how it goes, right? That's the take.
Good.
All right, let's get to the beef.
Could the Browns go offensive line here, though? Could they? Could they go offensive line, coach, do you think?
It's not a
possibility.
Honestly,
with all the talent that's in there?
It's the one team that I'm not picking an offensive lineman for.
But they don't have much depth at O-line now. They lost a couple of players.
Well, we're going to sign that guy that came off the practice squad in week 12. And
yeah, right.
That'll be good.
If we come on the show tomorrow, would you be surprised if the Browns drafted an offensive lineman with the first pick at 26?
Can you be surprised right now with the Browns with what they do at all? Like, I'm with you, Billy. I'm in your camp on this one, and I feel a little crazy. I feel like the Browns are going to get a little bit just trigger happy because it's in Cleveland. They got to do something. They got to put on a show. The entertainment value is going to be too much for them, and they're going to I think they're going to make a mistake. The best thing they can do is trade out of the first round.
Unless they trade up for the third pick and get Pitts.
If they do that, they give up their entire franchise.
Give up Odell and your first round pick.
Oh, now you sound like Poe.
I'm good.
The Bills they're gonna move up 27 spots and get Kyle Pitts.
By the way, not gonna happen. I'm just saying. Like,
No.
Pitts would be great. I'd love him.
I don't think this is. I don't think this is. This is not the draft that the Browns pick a lineman in the first round.
And I want to fly, but that ain't happening either. So let's go.
I think you're gonna in the first and second round. I think you're gonna see a lot of teams surprise you and draft some offensive linemen just because of how deep it is. And I think there's going to be teams that are going to be looking to get depth.
Well, then somebody's going to end up with a franchise quarterback.
And that's what we did yesterday. Was you noticed like every big major market media is saying the quarterbacks are going to go in the top 10, and we're doing our mock draft and we're like 15, 17. There's still quarterbacks there. It's like
What I'm curious to see is whenever that first one goes, because usually the chips start to fall after that first offensive lineman go, and you'll see a string of them start to go.
When the run comes, whenever you see two of any spot go, then everybody starts scrambling because something's happening. I mean, you saw it on draft day. If you've ever watched the film Draft Day, that is what it's like in a war room because people start frantically like, what don't we know about this guy? What don't we know? You know, and you know everything already. So it's always Mac, no matter what.
Nobody went to Bo's birthday party.
No, nobody did. And nobody ever will. That's going to do it for the regular segments of our show. As always, we end with the G. Burley Farms What's Your Beef? What's Your Filet? New guy first. Amo, you're up.
YSN for helping out Berlin Lake Golf Club and Back Nine Bar and Grill.
Hold on a minute. That was pretty good. But Amo, it's a filet or beef. You've seen the show before. You got to pick one.
Filet.
There we go. Now you're good. Welcome to the party, my man.
Do you want a beef too?
No, you got
to have a beef at me.
Declare what you were doing.
All right.
I do declare.
I do declare, sir.
Muncie.
All right. This is a slippery slope I'm going to go down here, but I have to do it.
I'm getting off the screen.
Yeah. Just because over the past week, it's just been insane. Well, actually, probably the past 2 weeks. And I know better than this because I do it myself in the summer. But as a baseball coach, my beef right now is some umpires who have no clue what the hell they're doing, and no clue about some rules, and no clue about etiquette. I mean, over the past 2 weeks, I've had umpires who don't know rules, and I've had some umpires who are talking smack to kids. I mean. You want to be a part of the game, and that's unfortunately they see. Again, it's like what kids see in the big leagues. They see the guys pimping it out and doing all this crazy crap. Guys see it as umpires too. They want to be the big show. They want to be the look at me part of the game. Where you're not. Just be the umpire. Do your job, and it's better to be seen and not heard. But those guys, want to be out there and look at me every kind of thing, and it's been ridiculous. And I mean, you'd like to think it's not all of them, trust me. There's a lot of really good guys out there working hard, but there's a couple guys out there that have no clue what the hell they're doing and want to be the big show. So that's my beef.
Well, it's the big show.
Right.
Love it.
So I'm going to do filet tonight because it's always cool when some of us gather around at YSN and we get together and we're going to do some fun stuff tonight. So make sure you tune in to our draft party tonight. It's going to be, and I'll be there, and I can't wait to see Michael Page, even if it is video only.
Page is coming?
Or I'm not sorry, McNuggies.
You meant McNuggies.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait.
Same person. It's all right.
It's the same person.
Go ahead.
Page, I'm dropping an RKO on Page next time. The first time I see him.
Love it.
Well, beef and a filet. Beef is games got canceled today because of weather, so got gypped of a good Mooney and Fitch matchup that was supposed to be happening tonight at Scene, then got moved to Fitch, and then just got canceled altogether because of the rain. So unfortunate for that, but then filet because kind of frees up the night for the draft, so get to watch that, enjoy that tonight. So,
all right, Coach.
Yeah, so I'm going with the filet today, and it's a pretty obvious one. Even though my computer just died in there, being able to walk out here was, pretty easy. But my filet is Amo, jumping on board with us at YSN, becoming a sponsor, And, big things going to happen out here. We're excited to have him on board. And, we're excited for any of you that want to become sponsors of YSN to come aboard.
And how about this guy, by the way? His first deal right here today. So hats off to the coach. Welcome in Amo.
Yeah. Billy, I heard you're trying to lose in golf.
Uh-oh.
I lose every day in golf. So
okay.
All right.
But I can beat coach.
See, he must.
That's what he said. That's why I was bringing it up.
I'm going to go with a fillet. Something that I saw. Chris Sigler actually passed it on to me. Was really cool. Yesterday, United Softball did this really cool thing where it was almost like a book that had action shots of their softball players, that they invited the entire community out of the younger softball teams, and they could do autographs. And I thought that was a really, really cool thing to build interest in the program, to build interest in the sport, and overall to give back to the community. So hats off to United Softball for doing something like that. I really think that more teams should do that stuff, because you start building the those relationships and foundations at a younger and younger level, and you end up with a perennial powerhouse like the South Ranges, the Polands, the West Branches, and I think United is well on their way to building a nice program. They did it with their basketball team. They've done it the right way seemingly with a lot of their programs, and now softball is no different. So again, that is my fillet, brought to you by G. Burbick Farms. On New Buffalo Road in Columbiana. Visit them on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Guys, the draft tonight, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock tonight. I thought you booed me. I didn't know if that was a moo or a boo.
I thought that was a boo at first, and I heard it.
I was like, don't boo sponsors, Billy. Don't boo sponsors. 8 o'clock tonight. I will be in attendance. I think a lot of guys are going to be in attendance. Billy's actually going to be in the building. Betos is going to be in the building. And of course, Mikey McNuggies will be in the building, not to be confused with Michael Page. So we're going to have a great show for you. A lot of YSN personalities, because there are no games on the network tonight due to Mother Nature. So make sure you tune in. We are the only game in town that you want to be around for, because we're going to shoot you straight. Might be a few choice words that we'll have to run the advisory prior to. Yes. YSN Primetime, you always want that parental discretion, certainly. So join us at 8 o'clock right here, wherever you're watching us, whether it be Twitch, whether it be our Facebook page, Twitter page, YouTube, or almost made it, ysnlive.com. But until then, I'm good. Until then, all of us, to all of you, we love you. We'll see you tonight. And if not, we'll see you tomorrow, 3 to 4, right here on the network. We'll see you later. Wave the damn.
Wave the flag.